History has a blind spot, a void of knowledge stretching 100,000 years wide. Somewhere between the glacial sands of the ancient Sahara and the fledgling populations of our ancestors, humanity faced extinction. And survived. How? What happened during this forgotten age? This is the story that science is just beginning to uncover. The Lost Epoch. 170,000 years ago, our planet was gripped by one of the harshest glacial periods in history, known as the MIS-6. The Sahara Desert expanded more than double its size, transforming the continent of Africa into a treacherous wasteland. Entire ecosystems unraveled. Megafauna disappeared and freshwater vanished. Yet, where others fell, our ancestors adapted. As the rivers dried up and fertile valleys became barren dust, bands of humans followed the few remaining water sources, pushing their ingenuity to the edge. Desperation inspired innovation, using bone needles to stitch hides for warmth or carving storage vessels for every precious drop of water. Cut to expert interview, Professor Chris Stringer. During this period, the population of our earliest ancestors plummeted. It's believed that fewer than 1,000 individuals were left. Specimens of bones discovered in North Africa suggest that entire tribes likely vanished during the harsh droughts and climate collapse. What's remarkable is not just their survival, but their ability to adapt at the very brink. Dr. Tishkoff interview. By studying mutations in today's genomes, we can sense this bottleneck like an ancient scar. Humanity may have come closer to complete annihilation than we ever knew, its legacy written in our DNA. Uncovering our ancestors. Experts at the Max Planck Institute are piecing together fragments of this enigmatic epoch. Under glass and steel, ancient bones whisper their secrets. Through advanced genetic analysis, scientists are unveiling the stories of these prehistoric survivors. Each bone and petrified tooth contains a genetic time capsule revealing ancient migrations, illnesses, dietary secrets, and, most astonishingly, the bottleneck our species barely survived. On-screen interview, Max Planck Research led. Our research confirms that nearly every modern human alive today can trace their lineage back to this tiny population of survivors. Their resilience defied genetic odds. From mitochondrial DNA, we've mapped the connections from those survivors to the 7 continents. Dr. Clavin. To understand their world, we analyze the dirt beneath our feet. Pollen fossils tell us about vanished forests and lakes, shifting the timeline of when and where survival was even possible. The Exodus. Eventually, these resilient souls set forth on an incredible migration, leaving Africa to populate the rest of the world. This exodus marked the dawn of modern humanity. They followed rivers teeming with life, skirted ancient forests, and braved uncharted wilderness. Each generation ventured further, their lives shaped by challenges that demanded innovation and courage. Some perished, but those who survived became the ancestors of us all. With each crossing, they brought stories and symbols never seen before, carved stones, seeds of crops, the first inkling of written language. This was not just a migration, but a rebirth. Cut to Professor Stringer. Without their bravery in venturing into the unknown, we wouldn't be here today. Their legacy endures through each of us. The earliest footprints found in the Arabian Peninsula, in Australia, and eventually in the Americas, all echo the resolve of these first travelers. Additional interviews and insights. Dr. Alice Roberts, bioarchaeologist, overlays images of ancient boats, postulates about possible coastal routes, and the tools that enabled them. 3D models animated, footprints pressed into ancient mud, preserved by volcanoes and tides, fading and refilling with each new season. The clash of species. As Homo sapiens spread across new continents, they encountered ancient relatives. These were meetings charged with both hostility and understanding, a collision of worlds. Evidence from ancient burial sites and genetic studies reveals not only conflict, but also unexpected moments of alliance, trade, and love. Some rivalries ended in blood, while others formed bonds resulting in mixed lineages. To this day, traces of Neanderthal and Denisovan DNA remain in many human populations, shaping everything from immunity to behavior. Transition. DNA double helix morphing into blended faces, signifying interbreeding, and the ongoing impact of these encounters. The camera lingers on the complexity of the human family tree, roots entwined with the unknown. Footage of researchers at cave excavation sites, dusting away millennia to uncover evidence of ancient mingling. Act 5, Fire and Language. The mastery of fire and the birth of language illuminated the darkness. These gifts created new bonds, forging a society unlike any before. Over fire's warmth, stories and knowledge traveled across generations, a shield against the unknown, and a bridge to cooperation. The earliest cave paintings may have been conversations themselves, visual stories told in ochre and charcoal, seeds of myth that outlived kingdoms. The power to communicate was humanity's greatest weapon and most enduring legacy. Expert segment. Dr. Daniel Everett, linguist. Every word we speak is the echo of ancient survival, the product of minds desperate to understand and to be understood. Graphics display language trees, branching from a single root out into multicolored arrays of tongues spoken by billions. The Age of Ice. Survival meant facing a world frozen and unyielding. But even when the world turned to ice, the fire of human endurance burned brighter still. Archaeological evidence reveals how clothing, new hunting weapons, and social cooperation became essential to endure millennia of relentless cold. Expert testimony. Dr. Rachel Pope, archaeologist. Bone needles, layered clothing, the organization of complex communal shelters. These were the innovations that kept hope alive during the darkest winters. The artisans of memory. With every mark on stone and bone, our ancestors etched memory into the earth itself. Art became their immortal voice. Painted bison on cavern walls spoke of successful hunts and sacred rituals, while bone flutes played the first known melodies of hope and warning. Art was a survival tool too. Maps sketched onto rocks, talismans carved for luck, and marks denoting sacred sites. Every trace is a message across an ocean of time. Art historian commentary. Dr. Jean Klotz, cave art specialist. When we gaze at these walls, we are not alone. We are looking into the dreams and anxieties of people who lived and loved as we do. The dawn of domestication. Humans learned to shape their world, not simply adapting, but domesticating. Wolf became dog, grass became grain. Survival turned into civilization as farming flourished and settlements grew, laying the foundation for society and community. This was an era of bold experimentation, risk, and reward. The first attempts at agriculture sometimes ended in disaster, as floods or droughts swept away everything. But perseverance and shared memory compelled humans forward. Agriculture expert commentary. Dr. Melinda Zetter, archaeozoologist. The domestication of animals and plants was a mutual journey. Wolves and we changed, just as humanity was forever altered by its new bonds. Empires of stone. Stone by stone, humans built monuments to their gods and to themselves. These empires etched defiance into time itself. Scribes recorded histories, astronomers tracked the heavens, and engineers moved mountains in their ambition to grasp immortality. With monument came myth, and myth soon became the foundation for culture and national identity. Stone does not forget, even the smallest etchings speak volumes about the dreams of their makers. Architectural insight. Dr. Kara Cooney, Egyptologist. These great stones are not just buildings, they are messages sent across millennia. Empires fall, but stories endure. The plague and the phoenix. There were moments when darkness nearly consumed us. Plague swept the land, yet always, like the mythical phoenix, humanity rose again. Society rebuilt, knowledge passed along, and innovations flourished in the aftermath of devastation. The scars are visible in our genomes, mutations granting resistance, shaped by ancient pandemics. This battle between oblivion and rebirth is written through every civilization's story arc. Medical historian Dr. Frank Snowden. Each bout of disease forced leaps in sanitation, medicine, and compassion, a tragic, necessary driver of progress. Written in clay and ink. Long before books, there were stories written in mud and blood. The written word became the vessel of immortality, carrying dreams beyond a single lifetime. Empires rose and fell, but the story of humanity persisted through every inscribed line and carefully guarded manuscript. Tradition and innovation collided in every scroll, as script changed from clay to papyrus to pixels. Linguist Dr. Michael Coogan. Every written word is a resurrection of the dead, the voice of those whose bodies have long since turned to dust. The age of belief. In the divine and the mysterious, humanity searched for answers. The Belief moved empires and faith shaped the world as surely as stone and steel. Wars were fought, peace was made, and hope was kept alive through traditions handed down for centuries. In temples and cathedrals, faith offered the promise of life beyond death, a glimpse of immortality at the heart of every major religion. Theologian Dr. Reza Aslan. Belief is the thread that links the earliest shamans to today's astronauts gazing into the void. Hope, more than fear or conquest, is the engine of history. Shadows of war and hope. Conflict has always haunted our history, yet hope lingers in every lullaby, every vow to rebuild. War and peace are woven into the fabric of our survival, shaping both borders and destinies. History is told by survivors. For every city destroyed, a new idea is born in the ashes, a chance for healing, progress, and collective purpose. Military historian Dr. Margaret Macmillan. War is the shadow that teaches us to cherish peace. Every weapon, every truce, has left a mark on our moral compass. The dream of tomorrow. Our future grows from the seeds of our past. Every generation dreams beyond the shadow of extinction, reaching for immortality in the stories still left untold. Advances in medicine, technology, and art show how the quest for meaning propels us ever forward. The pursuit of longevity, physical, cultural, and creative, continues as we push the frontiers of what it means to be human. Will science grant us the lasting memory we crave, or is true immortality only found in the stories we leave behind? Futurist Dr. Michio Kaku. Perhaps our greatest legacy will be the ideas and signals we broadcast, hoping someone, somewhere will know we were here. The glacial sands of the ancient Sahara hold answers to questions we've only just begun to ask. And as scientists continue to uncover the lost chapters of our history, one thing is certain: without those who came before, there would be no us. Our search for immortality continues, written one discovery and one story at a time. History is not merely what happened, but what we choose to remember. The only monsters to fear are those we become when we forget our shared humanity.